Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel collective. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I picked up some books from the library that I've been kind of reading over the last few days, and I just wanted to share them with you. And if you guys are interested, I'll definitely do this again, this type of video. So the first one we have is all about the moon, and it's called Moon Power. This one is by Jane Struthers, but specifically this book is more talking about each moon sign. So it's really in depth when it comes to every single zodiac sign. And specifically too, it's so tailored that it really explains to you the 8 lunar birth phases of the moon, from a new moon to a crescent moon to a first quarter moon. So we'll go over a little bit of the book, and then I'll let you know the other books as well. So it's really beautiful too. There's even a section about when things aren't perfect in your life, different things that you can do on how to read your moon sign and how to really correlate with your north and south nodes. So do you ever wonder what life is all about and what you're meant to be doing with it? The position of the moon's north and south nodes at the time you were born will tell you this. So there's a list of these positions on page 148 to 51, giving you the signs that occupied a time of your birth. And it's really cool. There's actually a huge chart about it. So if you'd like to know more, go to that page. Where the sun and the moon meet, the meaning of the nodes. So we'll actually go over that because some people may not know, and this is a really interesting fact. So the meaning of the nodes between north and south, there are various different ways of looking at it and interpreting the nodes. Some astrologers believe that they describe our previous lives, especially when we look in depth at the relationship they make to the rest of the natal chart. However, that's beyond the scope of this book. Here, looking at the nodes and indicators of our fundamental purpose in life, with the north node describing what we should be moving towards, and the south node showing what we should be moving away from. In each of the combinations below, you can see the different pairings of the signs and how they affect one another. Each combination of signs describes 2 extremes that must somehow be made to work with one another, such as the methodical approach of Virgo and the chaotic intuitive approach of Pisces. Really cool though, it gives you a really indescript. So for example, Aries and Libra happen to be north and south node opposites. Taurus and Scorpio, which are also 2 fixed signs, happen to be total opposites. Gemini, Sagittarius, Cancer and Capricorn, Leo and Aquarius, and Virgo and Pisces. So let's read one of these bad boys here. So we've got Gemini, Sagittarius. We must learn to express our beliefs and philosophies, Sagittarius, in a way that benefits our daily lives, Gemini in brackets. We must balance what can be fleeting interests with more deep-rooted concerns. Also, we must investigate ideas without preaching or being arrogant, while also not being glib or biased about them. Another lesson is to enjoy experiences with lively curiosity and interest while understanding them at a deep level. So really cool. It has all about love and relationships. Specifically, for example, if you are a Gemini. So specifically, if you are a Gemini, there's my Gemini moon in your Gemini, Cancer moon in your Cancer moon, Libra moon, Scorpio. It's got all the signs in here. So I'll give you an example. Sagittarius moon and Taurus moon. So if you and your person have these for love and relationships, Sagittarian need for adventure contrasts with Taurian stability. Opposites though can attract. And it's really beautiful because it has each of the signs. So it really shows what's compatible for you to date, which signs you could have better luck with. And specifically too, it even goes as detailed as to say first meetings. So if you're meeting someone for the first time with a moon in Taurus, you might connect over something relating to gardens, nature, or the countryside. Finances may also bring you together, or you may share the same values or perspective on life. If you're looking for love, it will be sensual and sexy, but there could be problems about possessiveness. Taurus happen to be jealous signs, but not all Taurus are that way. So, but this is how the book is. So we'll do one more. Moon in Libra. Fashion, the fine arts, a party, or even the legal system could be the setting for your first meeting. You'll charm one another, and there could be plenty of old-style wooing to turn your head and win your heart. Who loves a good chivalrist? That part was me. Expect a relationship filled with hearts and flowers, but not one as good at dealing with hard realities. So it's just like really truthful. I will say that. It gives you like the hard facts of astrology for each moon sign. And specifically too, for example, say you're a Scorpio, because we've got Scorpio season. So there's recommendations. Do speak kindly from the heart. Do enjoy activities with a mysterious or intriguing slant. Do engage in deep emotions. Do read a ghost story during a cozy evening by the fire. Do listen to music that touches your soul. Now, Scorpio, don't badger someone into divulging a secret. Don't try and control a situation or dictate terms. Don't give way to simmering resentment. Scorpios happen to be pretty bitter sometimes. Let intense emotions get the better of you. Feel jealous over a lover or friend. So just really great tips for you guys. I'll give you guys one more. We will do Moon in Capricorn. So do take responsibility for your actions. Absolutely necessary. Make contact with someone you respect. Do watch or read something that tickles your funny bone. Do mix business with pleasure. Do relax and have some fun. Capricorn, don't be late. You won't be popular. Don't let shyness get the better of you. Don't try to be someone you're not. Don't go overboard when dressing to impress. Don't ignore someone because they're from a different generation. So really interesting though. It goes over a lot, the moon and you with your career as well. There's a whole section on the natal moon for each sign. Beautiful artwork in here as well. There's all about seeking a new job, what it's like managing money or working a job, and even at home specifically. It's really cool. On the move, happy household, gardening. Really beautiful though. You guys would be honestly super interested. This one captured my attention for quite a few hours the other day. So it's not specifically all about the moon placements, but it's more so about each astrological moon and the signs to do with love, relationship, work, and money, and really how you can balance your home life with using your moon sign. Because a lot of you may have a different moon sign than your sun sign, your main sign. So if you don't know your sign as well, always a good thing to look up. You can look up your birth chart for free on many different sites by just entering your birthday, your first and last name, and specifically where you were born. And if you know what time you were born at, that makes it even better. But there you will find your birth chart if you're not familiar with your moon sign, and you'll be able to look it up and then move from there. So yeah, this book is called Moon Power again, and that is by Jane Struthers. I did happen to get it from the library, so I'm sure you could find it on Amazon or in your local bookstore. And if not, you could do like I do and check it out at the library. So second book we have, beautiful, rest in peace to the Queen. I'm not sure if you guys ever remember Sylvia Browne. Some of you may. You know, when I was a kid growing up, this was the one person that I was always intuitively drawn to. My family as well. So I definitely remember seeing a lot about Sylvia Browne growing up. So this book is called Prophecy, and it's really all about how she came into her gifts, and specifically kind of about her story and different parts about prophecies. So there's a timeless connection with prophets and prophecies, and she's really detailed. If you've ever seen her speak, she goes quite in depth. Now this one was written by her and Lindsay Harrison. So Sylvia Browne actually had, I believe, an author write it for her, but it's all based on what she was saying. So really beautiful though. It even goes into Buddhism, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So more than 2,500 years ago, a child named Siddhartha Gautama, pardon me if I wasn't saying it right, was born in northern India. He would become Buddha Shakyamuni, the enlightened one, and by beginning of the 21st century, 665 million people around the world would be Buddha's devoted followers in a religion and way of life called Buddhism. While there are many different styles of Buddhist practice, some of them basic and simple, some of them very complex, they all maintain the same essential principles from the life and teachings of the enlightened one. According to legend, Queen Maya, wife of King Siddhartha, had a dream one night in which a beautiful elephant encircled her and entered her right side. Brahmin wise men interpreted the dream to be a sign that a splendid son would be born and be the husband to the queen. So really interesting how she actually gets into the backstory of it. I haven't had a full chance to read this one entirely yet, but I was just thinking, you know, how they talk about the enlightened one specifically. A lot of you guys can relate with this, considering how spiritual practice, a lot of people refer to themselves as light workers and healers, right? And so a lot of that originally stemmed from Buddhism. And if you are, you know, looking for someone that's more, I would say, modern that you could relate to instead of centuries ago, definitely check out Sylvia Browne. She has a lot of interesting points. She talks about heaven. She talks about how when you pass on, what happens to your body as well. And we've even got like politics and the economy and how that's affected by spirituality. Really beautiful, interesting reading. Technology, how prophecies have happened during technology phases. And yeah, it's just really cool to check it out as well. How like, look at, so even plastic surgery. The key to the future of plastic surgery for both the face and the body is the laser, which by 2015 will be able to work beneath the skin to stimulate cells and natural collagen. Except in the cases of extreme disfigurement, it will be completely non-invasive procedure with a recovery time of 1 or 2 days at most. So it's funny because a lot of the prophecies she did make, this must be a few years older of a book, it actually has come to pass. So you may want to check this book out if you're into Sylvia Browne, and definitely a good read by her. And one of the last books, I believe, that she ever wrote before she passed. So I will leave the titles to each of these books as well in the description box. The next one is one I know that all of y'all will love. So it's called The Crystal Companion. This one had me captivated for hours because I myself am a crystal collector. And you know, this one's written by Judy Hall. Just look at the beautiful shapes on the back. There's a formation, there's a heart, an oval, another formation. And it's really interesting because it explains the properties of crystals and how specifically it has the whole chakras and subtle energy bodies. It goes from every chakra, explaining the chakras as well, and explaining how certain crystals can affect those parts of the chakra in order to unblock them, to promote healing. So for example, the solar plexus, in case you're unaware, is all about emotions. It's located above the navel, and its functions is that all of your emotions are actually stored in the solar plexus and have a deep psychosomatic effect. The point of digestion on all levels, this is where you will assimilate nourishment and absorb energy and emotions from outside of yourself. Emotional hooks from other people locate here, having a powerful effect on the ability to assert your will. This chakra governs self-confidence and self-esteem, in addition to emotional stability. So a lot of y'all should be familiar with the solar plexus if you are into spirituality. And if not, I really feel like this one specifically and the third eye chakra are two of the most important ones to know. But specifically the solar plexus, because it does control your emotions. So if you ever find you're someone who easily gets emotionally unbalanced, or you suffer from any type of anxiety or any depression or anything like this, this really helps clear out old feelings of emotions and really bring you back to a clear level. So definitely something you guys want to check out. And I was mentioning here the heart chakra, so we will go over this for y'all too. The heart chakra, unconditional love and nurturing. Now, a lot of my videos, you guys mostly respond well to the ones about love. So I feel like everyone could use hearing this right now. Even if you're familiar with it, always good to have that reminder. So the heart chakra is located towards the base of your breastbone. The function of the heart chakra facilitates unselfish self-love and self-worth, rising above egotism. Amen. With the higher heart and the heart seed, it forms the three-chambered heart chakra. Integrating the whole chakric line, the heart chakra is the core of your being. Hence why I definitely feel it's like one of the most important, right? And this is where the physical body and your soul specifically meet. The sight of the bonds made with other people, it governs your relationships and your interaction with wider worlds. So functioning optimally, you live from the heart, safe, compassionate, and non-judgmental towards others. Beautiful. But yeah, specifically, it really goes into detail. I definitely believe too, the third eye chakra and the crown chakra are both very important parts as well. So we will go over these for you guys just to give you a little bit of in-depth. The intuition and mental connection is the third eye, which is your brow. The location is above and between your eyebrows. The function is where inner sight meets outer vision and bonds into intuitive insight. The third eye sees beyond everyday reality into what is really sensing unseen worlds and higher dimensions. Imbalances result in being bombarded by other people's thoughts or overwhelmed by irrational intuitions with no basis in truth. Controlling or coercing mental hooks from outside influences lock in here. So when you're ever feeling foggy or you feel like you aren't receiving intuitive downloads or messages from spirit, or just that inner wisdom and clarity you usually have, that's because your third eye is blocked. And all spiritual teachers or even spiritual beings, whether you resonate with being a starseed or a light worker, y'all all are tapped into this. And this is all one of your base things that you use without even realizing. So functioning optimally, intuition can be relied upon. Very important to make sure your third eye is always open in order to receive proper messages and not just be confused with illusion. So one more here, we've got the crown chakra, spiritual communication and awareness. The location of this one is the top of your head. And you know, sometimes when it's blocked, it comes in the form of a headache as well. So a good way to tell. Function, a place of spiritual, intellectual, and intuitive knowing. The crown chakra connects to the multi-dimensions and multi-universes. When blocked, excessive environmental sensitivity, delusions, or even dementia is a result. So you can have a tendency to forget things a lot. If you're one of those people that finds you have like not the greatest memory with small things or remembering things from time ago, this is because your crown chakra is blocked. But I know others of you, like, I'm not sure about y'all, but ever since me growing up, always could remember anything, you know, from years ago, from being a kid to now. And specifically, that's because the crown chakra was open. So that's really important for you guys to check out, because when functioning optimally, soul purpose is actualized, leading to self-understanding. Certain of your pathway, you are attuned to the cycles of life, recognizing lessons programmed in before birth and soul gifts you seek. So really important, you guys. Definitely this one is a book worth checking out, or if you have more interest in just the chakras, let me know, because maybe I'll do another specific video just based on the chakras to give y'all some more information. But yeah, let's get into the crystal part. So it even has pendulums, how you're supposed to clean your crystals, because it's very important to make sure you are cleansing your crystals in order to release any negative energy. Or if specifically you know that you have crystals and other people are holding them, the energy can be all over the place. So to make sure it's directly connected to you, it is important to make sure you're cleaning them. So you can use salt. Salt is best to avoid, especially if you have halite, because that can damage the crystals. So specifically when cleaning, wow, interesting. I didn't know this, but you could use brown rice, definitely water. So you can smudge with sage or a smudge stick. That's a great way to do it, specifically what most people do. Purpose-made essence, light. So putting your crystals in a window, getting that natural sunlight, absolutely a great way to clear them as well. And another one here is returning them to the earth. So you may bury certain ones. Say you have a backyard, you could put them in your garden, or even if you have plants, you could put them in your plants for overnight in order to clear their energy by returning them to soil, to the natural earth. So to activate your crystals, a crystal needs to be activated and programmed to begin working. Rub your hands briskly together to activate your palm chakras, and hold your crystal in your hands and wait a few moments to attune to it. Then check out how you feel. A crystal in harmony with your energy field feels peaceful and calm, or buzzing and busy. If a crystal feels unpleasant in your hand, absolutely true. It may have had a triggered a release or may not be appropriate for you to have. So specifically too, each person is different. Each person is going to be naturally drawn to a crystal, and that starts when you see it, right? That visual appearance for you, that's part of your intuition, picking which one you most vibe with the best. So trust that intuition and always follow it. Picture light surrounding the crystal and formulate your intention. Be specific because focused intention is part of the process, but don't limit your intention. If using the crystal for healing, say precisely for which condition of the crystal result you seek, but leave room for underlying factors to materialize, and always add the statement, this or something more for the highest good. So very much important to do so. This opens the way for things to happen that you may not have even envisioned. So sometimes crystals can really work beyond what you are meaning for them to. For example, you could want it to heal if you are someone who does suffer from headaches, or you've been suffering, for example, from, say you have rosacea on your cheeks. There are so many different ways that crystals actually do natural healing process. Others of you say you've had a bladder infection or you've had a rash over eating a certain food, another way to do it as well. So specifically, there's different crystal grids and layouts it goes over here. And we're going to get into the good part here, just to give you an idea. So there's even each shape here, and it's listed which each shapes come to point for you. A lot of people do prefer the towers or the point in specific. The clusters are very popular as well. And I find that heart shapes or like star shapes can be popular as well. But yeah, there is every single kind in here for you to check out. Cluster, for example, radiates energy in all directions. Really beautiful. That was actually, I believe, my first crystal I ever had was a cluster. It did have it where it kind of broke a piece off, so I actually managed to keep the two pieces for a long time. But specifically, clusters are good for radiating energy in an entire room for you. So let's see what we've got. And don't fret. If you ever do have a piece of your crystal that breaks or comes off, it doesn't mean you need to get rid of it. It doesn't mean you need to throw it away. Unless, of course, it's sharp and it's like, hurting you to have it. Other than that, you can definitely keep it around. So let's see specifically, calcite's a beautiful one. This is for purifying. And notice how it just gets really in depth. It has your generic qualities, characteristics, and specific properties. So specifically, calcite removes stagnant energies, revitalizing the body and the environment. It encourages calcium uptake in bones. So this could be very important for some of you guys. Say you're not into dairy as well. You could be vegan or you're just a non-dairy person, lactose free. Sometimes you can't get all that calcium from soy in that as much as we do try and replace. But, this is great for encouraging calcium uptake in the bones, dissolving calcifications and strengthening the skeleton and joints. So if you ever find you're having back pains or joint pains, definitely grab yourself a piece of calcite and see it do some natural healing for your body. So let's get a few more that are really specific. Very interesting though. There's some that even I have never heard of before. Orange River quartz. So some of these as well, you got to realize will be a little bit more difficult to find. At most crystal stores though, or if you look online, you can definitely find even bundles. I believe Amazon sells like a bundle where you could get a few for so many dollars. And for others of you, you may have a local crystal shop. Those are the best because the women or men that work in there know exactly what to help you out with. Usually they'll have a smaller condensed list as well as to what each crystal does for you. And specifically too, you can go in and say, hey, I'm looking for this, and they will lead you to the right direction. And also it doesn't mean you have to get a giant piece for so many dollars. More often than not, you can even get a very tiny piece for a cheaper price as well, depending on your budget. So beautiful one here is the Tanzine Aura Quartz. That is so beautiful. Alchemical throat healing. So whenever your throat chakra is blocked, very interesting, especially with cold season, or if you're someone who suffers from getting throat illnesses often. Created alchemically from indium, Tanzine Aura Quartz brings about multi-dimensional balance. It aligns the highest crown chakra and draws cosmic energy into the physical body and to earth, creating profound spiritual connection and physical equilibrium, redrawing the etheric blueprint. Excellent for restoring the thyroid function and returning the pineal and hypothalamus glands to equilibrium. It restores optimal metabolic and hormonal balance, resulting in physical and mental well-being. Indium is said to be anticarcinogenic. The stone overcomes stress, metabolism, mineral assimilation, insomnia, thyroid deficiency, and attention deficit disorder. Wow, interesting. So if you ever, or someone, or you have children that have ADD, definitely grab them a piece of tanzine or quartz, or even if someone suffers from insomnia, so having a hard time sleeping at night, really interesting. But it also helps regulate the immune system and overcome depression. So a really beautiful one, and I love how Spirit drew me to point out that one in specific, because I feel like that is something that a lot of people could relate to there. So rose quartz, this is one of my personal favorites, and that is so funny that it is in this, because I've had this one since I basically started the channel, so I'm pretty sure you guys know I always have it out or charging on a deck as well. And you know, it's funny because when I'm not using it for reading, it is one of the ones I often carry around with me. And that brings me to another point. Like, don't be afraid to carry it around with you. Your crystal, you can always throw it in a safe place in your purse. If you're a feminine, or if you're masculine, put it in a safe place in your car or in your bag. Always good to have with you in your pocket. So rose quartz, South Africa, Brazil, vibration extremely high, and the chakra is the heart, higher heart, and heart seed. Rose quartz promotes the self-love that is essential before love is accepted from others. So if you're someone who finds you have a hard time connecting with others, whether that's dating or just meeting new people in general, boom, there you go. Characteristics: compassionate rose quartz carries unconditional love and acceptance, bringing deep emotional healing and promoting the self-love that is essential before love is accepted from others. The stone teaches us that unconditional love does not mean sacrificing yourself, being walked on or abused while saying, "It's okay, I will love you no matter what you do to me." It creates appropriate boundaries, allowing someone else with the space to be who they are without trying to force change, but not being overwhelmed when they are less than perfect. Dispersing illusions around what is truly love in action, rose quartz helps you to say a firm but loving no. Hold one whenever you practice tough love, and this could be with someone you love, a family member, or even just standing your ground at work sometimes, right? You could have that boss that you have a soft spot for. You could have worked with the person for a long time. You always say yes when they ask you to stay, but maybe some days you know you can't. You've got stuff to do at home or just other obligations, and you constantly get suckered into staying. You know, with this piece of rose quartz, sometimes you'll be able to say, "Hey, look, I love working with you, but not today." The art of standing firm. It is helpful for overcoming addictions, obsessions, or a tendency to self-harm in any way. And this is the most important part, y'all. This is why I wanted to bring this one up. Healing heartbreak. I know everyone who watches these readings has definitely experienced a heartbreak once in their life. And if you currently are experiencing heartbreak and having a hard time getting over it, loves, rose quartz heals heartbreak or disappointment. It attracts mutually loving relationships rather than codependency or abuse, as might have been previously the case. Place one by your bed to attract a twin flame or soulmates, a powerful stone for healing grief and loss. Rose quartz strengthens empathy, sensitivity, and enhances all interactions with others. It encourages self-forgiveness and absolution for those who have apparently wronged you, revealing their role in your soul plan. The beautiful stone invokes self-trust and enhances self-worth. So this one particularly very important for you guys to check out. I recommend that everyone has a piece of rose quartz, y'all. I feel like that is like the one essential, that and amethyst for sure. I am trying to see if I can find amethyst because it is a great explanation as well. So a lot of these I'm already familiar with, but it's great how this book does show other crystals, you know, that you may have never experienced before. Kind of leads you to what would be a good crystal to choose for depending on the situation in your life. And most importantly, it really shows you how to use it. So this is why I thought it was interesting. Like, for example, placing it on your head releases and opens up your third eye chakra. It's good for headaches. It's good for clearing up any anxiety, or if you just are feeling blocked. And speaking of, look at that. Love how spirit works. So we've got amethyst. Now this one's beautiful because this one's all about calming and healing. It promotes the most healing. And the interesting thing with amethyst is there are so many different kinds as well, and they're all tailored to specific things. So here's a few of them just to go over. But the chakra is for all, and specifically all cleansing. It's all about your immune system, your intestines, hormonal, cells, and just really all about you, promoting healing within the body and mind. So beautiful. Amethyst heals subtle disease. Stilling the mind, it takes it to a beautiful mind space. An excellent stress reliever. Amethyst enhances memory and decision making and improves motivation, y'all. Relieving the compulsions, obsessions, and neediness, and the underlying addictions or anger or fear or anxiety, and it even comforts grief. Protective amethyst guards against your psychic attack. So that's for all my spiritual workers out there, or even just spiritualists. If you know you've got a group of people keep trying to block you from moving forward, y'all, grab yourself a piece of amethyst. Protective amethyst guards against the psychic attack, enhancing a higher state of consciousness and facilitates meditation and spiritual awareness. Repelling negative energies of all kinds, it screens out EMF, smog, and geopathic stress. So also too, if you feel like your house is inhabited by different spirits and you have a hard time dealing with it, this is a really good way to ground and calm not only yourself, but any spirits that may reside in your home. Amethyst and white quartz, creating a V-shaped or branded pattern. Chevron amethyst helps assist you to look deep inside yourself. Gently releasing resistance to opening up, it is profoundly metaphysical. Excellent for the third eye, it enhances physical and intuitive vision and accesses multi-dimensions of consciousness. Gazing into the bands facilitates journeying out of the body, and the bands create a powerful healing field around the user, cleansing and repairing auric bodies. Chevron amethyst harmonizes the energies of the autonomic and sympathetic nervous system. So really specific how it gets in here. I will do one more for you guys. So we'll do the amethyst 𝐴𝐴𝐻 because I've never heard of this one. Apologies if I didn't say it right. An amethyst 𝐴𝐻 is a rare crystal with wonderfully refined vibrations that induce clarity of mind and spirit. Placed on the third eye to induce spiritual visions, y'all. I love how spirit had me point out to this one. This is for all my spiritual teachers out there. Or if you're interested in learning more about becoming a spiritual teacher, maybe some of you guys are watching this reading because you do feel like you have gifts and you've never fully tapped into them. Love how spirit drew me to this one. Definitely, actually, pretty sure that is the piece that I do have there. Beautiful cut of amethyst as well, the way that it's almost clear but almost smoky at the same sense. So it says, place on the third eye and induce your visions and above the head to open high vibration chakras and assimilate cosmic energy. For all my star seeds out there, absolutely beautiful. But yeah, so there's about 5 different types of amethyst you could check out. So many different types. You know, even quartz in specific, we did rose quartz, but there's clear quartz, there's even lithium quartz. There's so many different types of quartz. Fluorite's another beautiful one. So this is all about organizing. Excellent for processing information so that the mind becomes sharper. Fluorite overcomes any disorganization or stress, physical or mental. It improves coordination and counteracts mental disorders. No matter which color, this stone dissolves fixed ideas and illusions and reveals the truth behind a situation. So if you guys need clarity specifically on your situation and you feel like you aren't receiving it from anywhere, grab yourself a piece of fluorite. It's going to kind of open you up to really being able to see what's going on in front of you. Helpful when you need to act objectively. It gives you inner strength and stability to withstand internal or external influences and pressure. Fluorite cleanses and stabilizes your aura, grounding and integrating spiritual energies. It heightens intuitive powers and enhances trance states. Very interesting, y'all. So if you don't have a piece of fluorite, I highly recommend. We are going to do one more from this book and then keep going. So we've got the blue topaz, writer's friend. So if you are someone who is naturally an author, or you write, say you write for a magazine company, or you're an editor, for others of you, you could write music. You know how you always hear about the writer's block? This is going to help clear it up for you guys. Excellent for written communication and expressing yourself more fully. Blue topaz enhances mental abilities, encouraging clear thought and focused concentration. Helpful for public speaking, so definitely gotta grab a piece. It clears the throat and the third eye chakras. If you need to make decisions about matters in your life, such as the ideal job or how to implement your life path, meditate with blue topaz. It connects to the angels of truth and wisdom, facilitating living according to your own aspirations and recognizing whether you have strayed from your truth. If so, blue topaz gently assists you to let go of limiting beliefs and embracing spiritual independence. Love how Spirit's literally pointing me out to all the most important ones I feel like you guys should be checking out. But again, there's so many beautiful, different, interesting ones in here. If you have a piece of crystal that you're familiar with, drop it in the comments. Let me know if there's one I should have brought up in this reading or this video specifically. I would love to see in the comments. So now even there's a section on spiritual connection with your higher chakras, your inner sight, how to open your third eye, integrating soul and psyche, contacting the higher self. So this specifically, look at that. There is a piece of rose quartz, or sorry, clear quartz right there. So specifically, this one is called iridescent anodylite. So very interesting. It may not be clear quartz. It looks a little more intricate. I love how the light seems to be gleaming off it. This is in the book though. This isn't my lights that do change there. That's really beautiful. So this one specifically is all about contacting your higher self, just to make sure you're on the right path specifically. So yeah, there's even aurora quartz there. Labradorite, that's a really good one as well, you guys. And if I can find it, there's specifically, you can see too, I always mention the howlite I have. I don't know if we passed it yet, but I haven't seen it. Look at all the different types of quartz though. There are so many different types of quartz. Definitely drop if you are someone who has quartz. There's even crystals for kids. So you remember if you were a kid, you could have had like a rock collection or anything like this. Wow, I actually have a piece of Dalmatian stones. So interesting. Let's see what this one's all about. Chakra, base chakral earth star. Characteristics: Dalmatian stone imparts physically to the soul, grounding in the earth star chakra, creating a link to Mother Earth. It reminds you that you are a spiritual being on a human journey, and so it is excellent for connecting to your physical body and their reason for incarnating. Grounding and centering in the body, the stone helps come to terms with being an incarnation no matter what age you may be. And this is really good to help prevent bullying as well. So specifically, since this is the for kids or for growing up section, although it says for any age, if you have a kid in school that's really going through bullying, or you were someone that was bullied as well, we do have anti-bullying week for the next week, which is worldwide. So definitely a great thing. Maybe you could gift to someone a piece of Dalmatian stone or grab one for yourself. But yeah, so there's so many different, beautiful, interesting, all about every type of crystal. So look at, there's even crystals for karmic clearing, y'all. So another section we'll go over. It explains to you specifically what karma is, collective karma, and how to clear it. Karma, of course, I feel like all y'all should be familiar with this, but just in case, the law of karma basically, right? So karma is a cause and effect operating in everyday life. What is set in motions has consequences. Karma is purposeful, concerned with the growth and evolution rather than punishment. A balancing force, it is all-embracing and has many manifestations. Karma operates at different levels, from the personal to the collective. It shows where balance is needed and may involve reparation or retribution for the past actions and reward and restitution. Karma does not simply stem from actions and events. It encompasses intention, words, attitudes, thoughts, desires, and ingrained habits. And see, that's what a lot of people don't realize, right? They think, well, if they're specifically moving one way and they're putting that action out, that's how it's going to affect their karma, right? But it's all about your intentions. If you know in the back of your mind you are dealing with someone, or you are someone who has had a negative thought or intention towards someone, that's when the karma comes in specifically. If something happens in your life but you had a pure heart about it, you never had any negative intentions, that's when you're going to continue to be rewarded, y'all. And collective karma, I just did a reading the other day about how I felt like the spiritual community was under attack. Well, specifically, there's a group of karmics that are trying to come at the spiritual community and prevent us from continuing to spread the message. And this is a pure example of a collective group of karma. So karma arises at a collective level and creates problems for future generations. It arises from wars, territorial disputes, religious intolerance, and enforced conversation, exile, persecution. No one is responsible for karma that is collective in the sense of having personally created it, but souls may be a part of its source in conflict, right? So us having to go through it, even though the karma people could experience collectively could be from another generation entirely. So really beautiful, interesting points as well. And specifically too, there's all about karmic chakras, healing through them, reading your Akashic record. Y'all, I'm going to go over a part of this before we move to the last one here, because specifically, you guys may not be too familiar with the Akashic record, and very important piece of information to know. So the Akashic record is a cosmic memory bank containing all that has or might be in any time frame, all dimensions. It is rather like a computer that runs numerous simultaneous programs. It can be read to reveal a soul's past lives, present purpose, or potential futures. When you first read the record, you may see images that move on quickly before you can fix them in place, but with practices, it becomes easier. Sometimes information is dropped into your awareness as words or feelings rather than images. Moments of great emotional trauma and the soul drama make the highest impression on the record, so these are what tend to be seen first. If you find a scene distressing, remember that you are seeing it objectively, not reliving or embodying it. The scene can be reframed into a different outcome if it needs healing. All potential outcomes are available in the record. You only have to ask what is most beneficial to be triggered. Beneficial. So reading the record specifically, there are different ways too, by holding crystals, breathing rhythmically and easily. You can really withdraw your intention and set it forward. And look at, there's a picture of her kind of meditating with her crystal there. That's definitely a piece of clear quartz there. So a lot of information overload all at once for you guys, but I wanted to go over this because this one, like I said, lost in it for hours, and I still haven't even finished it all, but it's just such an interesting book. I could definitely read every single paragraph before I take this one back to the library. So again, you could probably find all these books online, or if you're like me and you love to read, it's kind of a fun fact I never shared with you guys, but since I was a kid, always was huge into going to the library, and more recently in my adult life, again, I've started going back to the library. So if you guys love this video, I could definitely do another one for you guys on some more finds that I happen to stumble across. And very interesting, there's even an ice quartz piece there, celestial quartz, you may be familiar, but crystals even for ancestral healing. So there's so much in here. And look at that, healing trauma, family karma, breaking stuck memory syndrome, breaking the response. So one more we'll go over because I feel like everyone on the channel could use this. Toxic karma consists of collective karma passed through the family line created from traumatic situations. So this is like childhood traumas, past traumas, anything to do with your family or your family lineage, ancestors, generations before you in your family. Things that were banned feelings or deemed unacceptable or inappropriate to the family status, limiting belief systems, soul contracts, curses, and so forth. It particularly applies to transgenerational trauma carried in genes and to survivor guilt or being rootless in exile from the homeland. So really interesting just to go over. But yeah, it's all about their specific crystals here even. Haven't gotten this far in the book, but I'd love to check all that out. About healing, you know, ancestral karma and just past energy as well. So definitely check out this book, y'all. I really feel like you guys will find it interesting. And not only that, but you'll be able to find a crystal that possibly you really connect with and are able to find some serious deep healing from. There's that Dalmatian again to finish it off. So again, this book is called The Crystal Companion by Judy Hall, and it's all about enhancing your life with crystals. If you guys have any other crystal books for me to check out, let your girl know. Drop it in the comments. I'll definitely check out your recommendations and see if I'm able to find those books. Now, we got the beauty here. We got the beauty, the tarot book. This one I've only just dove into because, of course, I am familiar with reading tarot, but specifically, I just love to be as knowledgeable as possible because we are never done learning, right? Now, I love how they use the Rider-Waite tarot deck specifically in here. So they've got the old school images in here as well. And this one specifically, I won't get too into detail because it's definitely something you'll have to read yourself. But I'm just going to show you guys, it really gets into in depth about each sign, about different ways you can lay out the cards. So that part I found interesting to always see different spreads, different things you can try. But yeah, so the significance of quarterets, triplets, and pairs. So by pulling, you know, 2 or 3 aces, 4 tens, there's all specific meanings, right? And you always see me talk about how I'll pull out 2, 3 of cups from different decks, stuff like that. So specifically, say you pull 2 tens, unexpected luck, which may be connected with a change of occupation. It will, if one was reversed, it will come soon, within a few weeks. Interesting. So I picked that one there because I did do a reading more recently where I had a 10 of cups in the upright and 1 in reverse. And look at that. Spirit saying for someone, or if you checked out that reading and you resonate with that message, you know, you may have a job, careers coming in soon that you're really going to resonate with. But specifically, let's go over a few messages from this one. And of course, it is just such a beautiful book. But yeah, I love it because it's so detailed. Look at that. It's got all the cups. It really talks about everything in depth more than any of the decks I've ever owned. They all usually come with a book. And of course, if you've educated yourself in tarot, you may have read more than just the books that you have. But always interesting to do, y'all. If you do own your own tarot deck, make sure you take the time to read that book, because specifically depending on the creator of the deck, the cards do have a slightly different meaning, right? But this is just generalized, but above and beyond that, it really explains the meanings of each cards and what it means to come together. So there's even the Wheel of Fortune here. It's even got like the Hebrew lettering. So also one page I found really interesting was how specifically, you know, most tarot cards have a number at the bottom, so 1 through 20. And it specifically shows you there what those cards mean. So let's see if I can find one so I can show you an example. I believe this deck has it. There we go, here's one. So for example, the major arcana is like rebirth there. Let's see if I can find any more to compare. So, oh, there we go. Number 13, which also is the sign of Scorpio. 21 there, also the sign of Aquarius. But yeah, it specifically gets into the meaning of each specific number on the card as well. And there is a second meaning there for anyone who does read tarot and is unfamiliar with that. Definitely something to check out as well. But really beautiful how it has each of the cards, and it really just goes in depth into explaining to you from generations ago which each card entailed. And really interesting to see like the modernized touch of how they format them now versus this in-depth book. But I feel like this book is semi-new because the feeling of it, it doesn't seem to be too old. But yeah, this one I won't explain as much in depth because it's definitely necessarily something you have to see. But look at, so it had the number 18, and it just really shows, right? So 18 is the moon. And so specifically, depending on the deck too, there's slightly different meanings, and it is super in-depth, y'all. This one gets deep for you guys and really even just gives you everything you need to know about tarot. So I recommend checking this one out. It's called The Tarot, a collection of secret wisdom from tarot's mystical origins. And specifically, this one was written by Juliet Sharman Burke. So I'm gonna leave this video there. Drop in the comments, y'all, which book did you find the most helpful in this video I have made for you guys? I hope it's the Crystal Companion or even the Moon Power here, because specifically that's all tailored to your moon signs. And if you guys have any recommendations of books you would like me to check out or to feature in a video, let me know. I'd be happy to do that for the channel, for the collective. And if not, next time I get some, I'll definitely be dropping a video and going over some new ones with you guys. So leave a comment, 111, if you resonated with this and if you're down with videos like this. Until next time, collective, thank you for watching.